Well, good morning from Jim Thorpe, everybody. That's right, I'm here in Jim Thorpe. Plenty early in the morning, too. It's like 6:40, and I'm here because we've got a rather special train today, and it's not the Lehigh Gorge train. Earlier this week, there was a work train that came through here, and it dumped ballast on the tracks because they laid a bunch of new tracks up that way in the yard. Today there's another one. They're going to be spreading more ballast, and I'm not entirely sure what track they're going to be spreading the ballast on, but I do know that we're going to see some ballast spreading action. This is called a work train. It's involved with track work, maintenance of way on the railroad. So it's a bunch of hopper cars filled with ballast, which is the stone that exists in the railroad track. If you've ever been around railroad track, you know that there's all these little white stones that exist between the ties and the rails. It's called ballast. It's there to support the track and the trains whenever they roll over them. So today we're going to be seeing them lay that here, likely on the new tracks that they just laid. So first we're going to catch 2013. They're going to come down from the yard and they're going to come along these rails here, and then they're going to head back behind me through the narrows where the Lehigh Gorge train usually runs around. The engine runs around the train, or they park the Reading train from North Reading on excursion weekends. Anyway, they're going to run down that way and actually go to a place called Packerton Yard. There they're going to pick up the ballast cars. Now, I don't know that we're going to be able to see them in Packerton Yard. I don't even know that I'm going to go follow them there because there's not many roads that really get direct access to the rail yard, if you know what I mean. So chances are we're just going to stay around here, and instead we're going to catch them coming through the narrows with the freight, which is a rare sight here in Jim Thorpe. You don't typically see freight coming through here anymore. So all things considered, if you're interested in seeing some behind the scenes of track maintenance, make sure to stick around and catch what we're going to see.
Once maintenance of way crews were in place, 2013 began to slowly pull the cars across the railroad diamond, which had just been constructed when I filmed this video. This was done to position the ballast cars for a shove move onto the ready track, which is the track closest to Route 209 in Jim Thorpe. Once in position on the track, the maintenance of way crew would begin opening the bays of the hoppers to dump ballast over the tracks as the train moved at a walking pace. After watching the crew dump ballast on the ready track, we're introduced to the first piece of maintenance of way equipment that will be used in this video. This is known as a ballast regulator, and its job is to travel across the ballasted track in order to spread the ballast apart equally over the ties. This is achieved through a plow that is lowered in between the rails to push the ballast down and over the rails to ensure equal filling between the ties. Once the ballast regulator was in the clear, 2013 reversed the ballast cars back across the diamond in order for more ballast to be dumped on that track. For those wondering what a railroad diamond is, it's an area in which two tracks intersect one another, allowing a train on one track to cross over the other. The diamond was installed in early 2023 in order to accommodate the increase in passenger traffic within Jim Thorpe from the newly established Pittston to Jim Thorpe route, as well as the Reading to Jim Thorpe trains and Lehigh Gorge Scenic trains. After the ballast had been dumped and 2013 had pulled the cars clear of the diamond, the ballast regulator came out onto the diamond in order to spread that ballast apart. Once this had been completed, the crew took a brief intermission for lunch, which I made the most of by heading out into the Lehigh Gorge for another special catch. As it turned out, a special move was being made that day to transport 2 boxcars north that had been in a derailment earlier in the year. Being restricted to very slow speeds, I was able to catch the train crossing the Nesquehoning Bridge and traveling through the Glen Onoko rock cut.
Got a good 20 minutes till we get up there.
Upon returning to Jim Thorpe, we're introduced to the second and final piece of maintenance of way equipment that will be seen in action today. This is known as a tamper, and its purpose is to tamp or pack down the ballast between the ties of the track. Through a precise movement of a claw and metal feet, the track is gently lifted up for the feet to press the ballast down and under a tie, and then the track is gently set back down. This process repeats for each and every single tie on a stretch of railroad track.
You can see how much that they've been dumping in terms of stone. You don't often get to be above the trains, so this is quite an interesting viewpoint. Let's go ahead and walk the length of the consist here. Some of them are more dumped out than others. And then here we have, looks like about 4 full ones in the middle. So this is what they look like when they were full. And that's about what they look like when they're just about empty. You can actually see in the corner of that one there, that's the hatch that they actually dump the stone out of. So there's a little bit in this one. That one's completely empty over there. And this stuff is stuck on the sides, but there's no way to really break that loose without climbing in the car, and obviously that's not safe. Yeah, these are the full ones. So they were all like that at one point. Most of them were full this morning. Some of the back ones were a little empty. And since that's moving out of the way, I can only guess that that means our stone train is going to be shifting back too. at that. They set these cars right about on the diamond.
Now that you know the process of dumping, spreading, and tamping down ballast, enjoy watching the complete process unfold as the crew dumps an additional amount of ballast before the end of the workday.
Yeah, that should be enough. Next track.
that's interesting. You could see that depending on which way they move those chute handles, it opened the bay doors either inward or outward. So wherever the ballast is needed, if it's needed on the inside of the rails, they could put it on the inside. If it's needed on the outside, like that guy at the end's doing now, you can put it on the outside too. Didn't notice that before. After all the work for the day had been completed, 2013 shoved the ballast cars back down the main line through Jim Thorpe and the Narrows to be returned to Packerton Yard.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up today's video. That was a lot of non-stop action for sure. First, we started with just the ballasting of the tracks. Then we actually got to see the equalizer, as they call it, come through and spread the ballast apart. Then finally, we had the tamper come in, and we were able to see him tamp down the ballast under the different ties and everything. And we also caught the QAPI coming through the Lehigh Gorge halfway through the day too. So it's been a busy day. Very busy day. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. This is gonna probably be a monster to edit, but I hope it's a good video. If it is a good video and you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe, like, maybe leave a comment if you want to. I always try to reply to them. And come back again for more. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day.